All right. So we are beginning here with our Python and OpenAI API workshop. And a bit about myself. I have been a software engineer for 10 plus years. I actually studied art and psychology when I was in college. So I had no vision of really getting into the technology field. Actually, in fact, I only took one computer science class when I was in college, and it was the only class that I stopped going to. I stopped going to it like like probably like a month into it, or probably about 2 weeks into it. And the reason why was just because the teacher was so boring. I mean, I just could
Mm.
not bear how boring the teacher was. And then fast forward, after I graduated from college, I went to a coding boot camp where I learned full stack .NET development. And then from there, I fell in love with it right away. Like, so literally, as soon as did my first Hello World, I fell in love with it because it was presented to me in a way that is creative, in a way that is engaging, as opposed to somebody that was just flipping through slides and it was just completely boring. So fast forward, I've had an amazing career. I've won 3 hackathons. I've built every kind of application you can imagine, whether it be web or mobile or virtual reality, of course, AI. I've also trained 400 plus students who secured full-time jobs as software engineers. I used to work for one of the largest tech consulting companies in the world as their lead technical instructor. And then I also volunteered for being an instructor via Microsoft. They have a program called Microsoft Teals, where people that are experienced software engineers are able to teach high school classes. And and then I've also, I've built my own applications, and it's been just an amazing journey. Um, uh, so um, uh, so I have a twin brother. Fun fact: I have a twin brother
Oh,
who is also a technical instructor as well. In fact, he was the one that got me into technology, and he's been working for a really large tech instructing company as well. So, been doing this for a long time, and I absolutely love it. Everybody that knows me knows that I love this. So this right here highlights what we're going to do. We're just going to blast through everything that is um, uh, not fluff, but all of the stuff is valuable. But I want us to get as quick as possible to the meat and bones of it, so you can just learn as much as possible. But I do
mm,
like to highlight certain different things. So one of the things that I'm highlighting right now is just my teaching method. So this allows you to be able to get as much as possible from the workshop, from this session. Because when I got into teaching, I always wanted to do the very best I can. So I started learning about the different ways that people learn. So they have people that learn through auditory. So in order for reaching people that learn auditory, and everybody learns through a combination of these, but I'm emphasizing this so that during the workshop you will consider that you during the workshop you'll consider, if I'm doing this, that means you should be doing this, right? So like, let's say for example, if I emphasize something, that means that it's something that you will want to write down or remember. So there's different kinds of emphasis. One of them is going to be, if I say something loudly, then that's something that's an example of emphasis. If I say something slowly, that's another form of emphasis. If I say something over and over, then that is another form of emphasis. So that means if I emphasize anything, it's valuable for you to write it down. Okay. The other is visual. We do have, like, all of our slides have, in a lot of cases, they may have code on it so that the people that, the way that they learn, they take like mental snapshots, so that you're able to, look inside your brain and remember the way that it looked. That's why we provide that as well. And then we have what we call forward and reverse engineering. So forward engineering is an analogy of that. It's pretty much like, Mehmet, have you ever purchased anything from IKEA or something like
yeah,
that?
of course.
So like if you've ever purchased something from IKEA and then from there you assemble it together, it's like, well, you may have never, built a sofa before, or you may have never built a cabinet before, but just by simply following the instructions, you're able to get the results that it says. So in the same way with software engineering, with AI engineering, with all of this stuff that involves technology, when you just follow step by step and then come out with the same results, it builds a lot of confidence in you. It's through those experiences when you've put together, a sofa that you purchased through IKEA, that the next time when somebody says, "Hey, can you assemble this for me?" You go, "Yeah, sure. I've done it before, right?"
Mhm.
So that's the way it works in technology as well. And then the final one is reverse engineering. Reverse engineering is pretty much whenever you get access to, the source code for a project, and then from there you start just playing with things. You download a software project, and then from there you go, I wonder if I change this value, what will happen? I wonder if this thing changes. I wonder what will happen. And this is very important because this is actually primarily what we do as technology professionals, is that it takes having an understanding of the overarching machine, whatever whatever program you're getting into, and then having an understanding of all the stuff that's going on, or at least, in some cases in tech, at least just like not everything, but the scope of what your responsibility is, but just being able to make changes to the existing project. And that's what we refer to as reverse engineering. So next, why I learned Python. Everybody has their own reasons. I mean, you're talking about data analytics. That is, Python is just one of the most important languages right now. So, the reality is that no matter what somebody's career path is, I believe that learning actual technical skills, not just how to use AI, but like genuinely how to, just understanding some of this stuff that we teach, I believe that it's of incredible value. Sorry about that. I was hearing some birds and my cat is outside.
I thought your cat was wandering around.
Yeah. I think she's trying to, who knows? You know how animals have their own
Yeah,
interactions
chirps.
in
I
the
get the
world.
bird's attention.
Yeah. So, so yeah, Python and just these technical skills in general, in my opinion, is it may not be for literally everybody, but in my opinion, I think that it's still valuable for people to gain, no matter what venture they have in mind. That way, they're able to understand what's just going on underneath the hood of all of this technology advancement that happened. So, as some of these slides, they're highlighting just like, where Python is used. Python is used in pretty much everything, and also in some of the most popular applications. We're talking about Facebook, Dropbox, Instagram, Spotify, some of the largest organizations. They're using Spotify. I'm sorry, they're using Python. So that's just a little bit about that. And then, so in terms of talking about what's going on underneath the hood of Python, so people will notice, and you'll notice later on when we get into just preparing your working environment, that like actually Java is actually pre-installed in most systems. So whether that be in Windows or in Mac and Apple, Java is already installed. And the reason why is because Python is actually, it's not like a brand new language, but Java is, a language that was just so dominant. So it was kind of just understood that we're just going to automatically install it in these systems. But Python is the language that still, in a lot of cases, most people might not have it on their system. So they need we actually download Python into the system. And then from there, in the IDE, which I know you're new to programming, IDE is the software that we use for actually building applications for coding. So from there, we download the Python interpreter, and then from there, any of the other plugins that are needed for running it. So we're going to go through this process later on, but just a little bit of a description about what's going on underneath the hood of Python. From there, I was talking about the interpreter. Python gets it. It just allows for compiling and reading, what's going on and what the system is asking it to do. Right. All right. And I'll be right back here. I'm just gonna bring my cat back in and then we'll just
Yeah,
dive back into it. All right.
no problem.
All right. And then from here, we do have things like virtual environment, and this is used just to compile the different versions. It's just a folder that just declares all of the different plugins that we're using, the different libraries that we're using within our application. So and then we have a command called pip that is used for importing and installing. So a lot of this stuff that I'm just mentioning right now, they'll be concrete, later on within this workshop alone. But I like to just talk a little bit about some of the understanding of what's going on here. So we have this concept of object-oriented programming. Have you ever heard of it, Mehmet?
I have not, no.
Okay. So the reason why I like to talk about this is actually because it is something that is very foundational. That will, in most cases, it gets glossed over in the education system because a lot of people that are teaching programming, they don't know it on that deep of a level. But object-oriented programming, and also this is actually a question that comes up a lot of times in interviews, so it's another reason why I like to highlight it. But object-oriented programming is it's like the paradigm of programming that allowed for all of the types of apps that we know about today to exist. So before object-oriented programming, the way that it worked was that it would be pretty much like just one file would be read from like the top to bottom, and that was all that could be done. And that was just very limiting. But with object-oriented programming, it allowed for pretty much a combination of different files to be able to be chained together, so that you're able to chain together different sequences of actions. So it was this paradigm of programming that allowed for the possibility of like before, people might remember, sometimes you might stumble upon like an old website and it's like, static. You just see, it's like a brochure, right? All it does is just show information on a page. But then from there, the evolution became things like forums, right? From there, forums started existing. And what's unique about forums is like now people are able to create an account. And by creating an account, you're able to post stuff that is able to show up on the page. So now the person that is landing on this page is not only a viewer, but they're also a participant in the creation of the content that is shown on the application, right? So this was the evolution, and then from there, from the idea of forums, what happens? We get stuff like MySpace. From MySpace, we get Facebook. From Facebook, we get Pinterest and X and Twitter and all of this stuff. So, but that core thing was the possibility of people being able to create an account, delete an account, and this is what object-oriented programming came from. So there's a lot of object-oriented programming languages. When you hear Python, Java, C#, C++, all of these JavaScript, all of these languages are all object-oriented programming languages. So And the way that I like to describe it is that once you learn one of them, it makes it very, very, very easy to learn all the other ones. There's slight differences, but the analogy that I give is pretty much like comparing like, Latin to French to Spanish. Like they're all derivative of the same,
Mhm.
source, right? So that's the comparison that I give for learning programming. So there's different principles of object-oriented programming. I like to give an analogy an acronym for remembering them. And that acronym is AEIP. So if you think of the vowels, right? AEIOU, right? Those are the vowels. So I put them in a certain specific order as a strategy for remembering them. So that's going to be A, abstraction, E, encapsulation, I, inheritance, and then from there instead of the OU, we're just going to put a P, right? Polymorphism. So so this is a strategy for remembering this. And like I said, this is stuff that, you may want to write these down because these are things that are going to be important to, keep in mind. And at any point, if you have any question, feel free to slow me down. All right.
Gotcha. Thanks.
So we're going to go ahead and dive into the first one. The first one is abstraction. And abstraction is very powerful because it's pretty much like the ability to make use of things that we don't necessarily have an understanding of what's going on underneath the hood of. And that happens a lot in programming. When we're doing simple things like even if we're doing like just simple math using programming. So if we do 3 plus 5, in math in Python, there's still code that's written underneath the hood that makes the system understand, the mathematical operation, what to do when you see a plus sign. So there's so much that goes on underneath the hood, and in a lot of cases, we're able to just make use of it because very, very simply. Another huge example of this, and later on in this workshop, we will see how to create our first API call with ChatGPT. And the reality is that this is something that a lot of people would think is extremely, extremely difficult for anyone to do, but we're going to see later on that it's actually quite accessible. So, and it's because of the level of abstraction, the thoughts of how can we make this as simple as possible, even though that there is so much code going on underneath the hood, especially for using AI. But nonetheless, we're able to make use of it very simply. So that is abstraction. Encapsulation is a bit more of a very technical concept that might take a bit of time for somebody that's just like learning it right now. But encapsulation means that we have these things called classes, and a class is pretty much like it's like creating a template for an idea. All right. But encapsulation essentially means that we're able to get and set the values for a created instance of a class without changing it itself. So this is just done to protect the integrity of the class itself. Yeah, this is kind of what's referred to as encapsulation. And an analogy for this is like, let's say if somebody is calling somebody that is a friend, you'll call the whole house, especially back in the days when people used to share a phone in a household. You'd call the whole house, and then from there you'd get routed to the person that you're trying to talk to. So that's an example of encapsulation. Inheritance is one of my favorite one of my favorite of the the principles of object-oriented programming, because it greatly reduces the amount of code that is needed to write in order to be able to create something. And as it says over here, it allows you to create a class that shares the same attributes of another class. A technical example is you can create a checking account class and then using a banking account as a starting point. So what this means is, as I talked about classes, which we will get into later on, you are able to have anything that, let's say, in this example, we have a banking account, and that is that's a general idea. But examples of banking accounts, people have checking accounts, they have savings accounts, who knows, credit card accounts. Well, these are all different examples of a banking account. So what it allows us to do is, through inheritance, we're able to say, all right, instead of having to write out all of the code again for the banking account class, we're able to just create that banking account class and say that the checking account class, the credit card account class, the savings account class, they all inherit from the banking account class. And then from there, be able to specify the differences that each of those separate ones have. Yeah. So does that make sense?
Template, yeah.
Any questions?
I know, yeah. It makes sense why you called it a template earlier. I understand.
Excellent. And then we have polymorphism. Polymorphism is pretty much it means multiple forms, but the easiest way to, when you think about polymorphism, you'll see poly, which means multiple, and morphism is like just, it means forms. So what it essentially means, though, is that you can have a function that has the same name as another function, and as long as it's in a different place, or it has a difference in the parameters, which we'll get into what parameters are later on, the system will recognize it as a different function. So essentially what polymorphism is just saying that you can have the same name of a function in multiple places, as long as you change the location of where it is. So as we talked about in the previous example, let's say we're talking about a bank account, and in a savings account, you're able to do a deposit, but also in a checkings account, you're able to do a deposit. Now, let's say from a programmatic perspective, right? You're the person that's building this app for the bank account. For the savings account, you get more, let's say they give you more of the, they provide you more of the interest, right? Your money grows faster in the savings account. So from a programmatic perspective, if I were to be doing the code that adds the money to the person's account, I will be able to we could use the function can be called add, and you could have the same name, add in the checking account function, in the checking account class, and then you could have add in the savings account class. And even though they have the exact same name, because they are different in terms of their place, the system will recognize them as being different. Is that clear? Any questions?
Able to use the function in multiple classes instead of having to rewrite it again for every single class.
Yeah, that's correct. Oh. And it's only there are cases where you want to use the same exact one, but there are cases where you want to use the same name, but you want it to do a different thing. And if you want it to do a different thing, then you could change it either by the location of where you write it or by the parameters. And parameters, we'll get into that here shortly. Okay. And we had somebody else that joined us. Let's see here before we continue. Shalindra.
Hey, hi. Good morning.
Yes. Hello. Feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know where you're logging in from, as well as what you currently do and what you aim to learn from the workshop. Okay. All right. All right. So as far as the project structure for Python goes, it's pretty flexible. We do have what we call like just frameworks. And when you're using a framework, then in those cases, you are able to just have like a scaffold of, just the way that the project should be arranged. But Python is a very flexible language. There are other languages like Java and such that are a lot more they're a lot more um, a little bit more strict about the way that the projects are created. Um, some of the key components of an app structure, you'll look for whenever you get into any code base, you'll look for an app source folder. I'm going to go ahead and at this point. Well, no, we'll get to that later on here shortly. Yeah, so we'll go into the app source folder. We're going to look for that. You might see an init.py file. This is a file that is, used to mark the directories on the disk. You'll probably see that. And then test folder, that's going to be for your unit tests, the virtual environment folder, the requirements.txt, and these are just different files that you may see within a app structure. But before we get into the structure, I want us to get a little bit more closer into diving into actual Python code so that we can learn some. Okay. The way we're going to do this is I'm going to share this website right here called W3 Schools. I'm going to post a link here shortly. All right. And all right, so I just posted the link in the chat. You can go onto the website, and I'm going to now. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to. It'll be easiest for me at this point to share my entire screen. All right, so you all are able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So you should all be on the screen over here where it says hello world. Were you all able to see how to get here? You just, when you click on the link of the page that I just shared, you just scroll down a little bit and then you'll click the button right here where it says try it for yourself. And if you're there already, just in the chat, just type in P if you are there already.
P?
Yes, just P.
Oh, let's try.
All right, Mehmet, it's already there. And Shalindra, are you there yet already?
Yeah, I use that. Yes.
Okay, all right, good. So this right here, as we could see, is our first hello world. And this is just all that we need from a coding perspective in order to get this text over here. What I want us to do is just to change the text over here to our name. So just type in here, hello Nova. And as we could see here, it changes our text. So this is one of the most this is an initiating command. This is like an initiation into becoming a software engineer is your first hello world.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have done your first hello world, then just type in the word HW. So yeah, all I want is to change change the text, and then if you want, you could make it say whatever you want. So congratulations, Mehmet. Now you're officially a software engineer.
Woohoo.
So, but one of the things I wanted to highlight here is just the difference between. So this is how simple it is to write "Hello World" in Python. But we'll notice here, like let's say for example, if we were checking out how to do it in in C sharp, we have to do all of this in order for doing "Hello World" in C sharp. And this is part of the reason why Python is becoming so important, is because of the simplicity. There's less to write, there's less to understand. I'm familiar with all of these languages and understand what's going on. For C sharp, we have to declare the utilization of the packages that include the code, all of the code that's done here. Then from there we have to have our namespace, and then from there you have to have the name of the class, and then from there you have to have a running class, and then from there you could finally start writing the hello world inside of that. But fortunate for us here in Python, we're able to just once we have installed the language, then we're able to go ahead and just utilize the function and then provide here the argument. And the argument is like what we're telling it to do. Okay. So that is our first hello world. Once again, this is just we're going into the technical part now, so that when we get to OpenAI here shortly, we will have an understanding of what's going on when we look at the code. There's a difference between strong type and soft type languages. I actually pretty much just highlighted it, but just to reiterate it, when we were looking at the difference between, and that was C sharp, but even if we look at Java, hello world is very much the same, where we have to have all of this stuff, versus for Python, we're able to just have this. So this is just an example. This is not the limits of what being a strong type and a soft type language is about. Let's say, for example, in JavaScript as well, there's your hello world is going to be pretty simple. This right here, they're adding a lot more to the code because you're creating the actual document on a page. But JavaScript is another example of actually a soft type language, where you don't need to explicitly let the system know what the data type is, or the return type is of your variable or of your function. So, and we'll get more into what that means here shortly. So we're going to get into data types. The different data types are integers, floats, complexes. These are all numbers. So integer is the way that we are creating anything that is a number. So if we're creating if we're creating a variable, right here, age is the name of a variable, and then from there we are assigning it a value of 30. So that is just this is an integer. That's the data type. And then from there we have floats, we have complexes. Complexes are rare. You'd probably only use that if you're working for like JPL or SpaceX. And then we have sequences are kind of the data types that are more related to like words. So we have, for example, if we were creating a variable called name, and then from there we put it in double quotations, that is the way that we do it for strings. So yeah, keep in mind, you do not just type in, let's say for example here, I'm going to go back to Python here, variables, and I'm going to post this for you over here too, Mehmet, so you're able to get an understanding. So when we're creating when we're creating variables, we have the on the left side, what we're doing is we're declaring the variable, and then on the right side, we are assigning the value. So once again, left side is declaring the variable. The right side, we are assigning the value. And then from here afterwards, we have these are functions, just like we had before for hello world in Python. Just like we had hello world, now over here, we are using the print statement. Print statement is just used for, like, of course, just printing out whatever the value is. So as you can see over here, it's saying print x. Well, x is equal to 5. So that's the reason why it's printing out 5. And then we have over here print y. Y is equal to John. And that's the reason why it's printing out John. Is that making sense?
Yeah. So like you said, left side variable, right side value. We predetermine what the system's going to recognize the output to be, and then the prints the function. And the system goes and looks for that, and whatever output we determined is what it'll show in the code.
That is correct. That is correct. Good. We have other more complex data types. Dictionaries are cool. They allow us to be able to look up. Let's see over here. Mapping. So it's for dictionaries are fun too, because you could get specific values from the place. So let's say, for example, here we have name and John. So we have the name is it's going to be kind of like we had the variable. So, but we have like the key set relationship. So the key is going to be the name here, and then the value is going to be John, or the value is going to be 36. So it's pretty much like creating a database on the fly. That's what a dictionary is. But yeah, these are a bit more advanced of data types, ones that are used a little bit later on in a coding career. I know I used them when I was back when I was working for a large bank. And then we have sets. Sets are just an example of creating a list. We're able to create lists of items and then output them. There's a number of different strategies for outputting the values in a list. But let's say, for example, here's an example of us creating the values in the list. Is we have this list here. The way that it knows that it's a list is this actually the hard braces are what we use for declaring that we're creating a list. So in programming, there's different visual ways that we communicate to a system what we're creating, and this is one of them. And then we have this is a list of the different what we're adding is a string, because as we could see by the quotation mark, the data type that these are all strings. And so this is a list of strings, and then from there, we are printing them out here. So it's as simple as this. Does that make sense? Once again, X is just... What were you saying?
It seems like familiar for some reason. I think I saw something similar in Excel. My mind's going to there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's quite simple. It's quite similar. Yeah, because Excel, it's using underneath the hood, essentially is going to be using Python, or some coding language, depending on what operating system you're using. But yeah, it is very, very similar to Excel for sure. All right, so we're going to be moving straight along. This one is very important. However, this is the Boolean. So Boolean is true or false. And the Boolean is actually the root of what people used to experience as intelligence in software before artificial intelligence. It was actually all pretty much done through a Boolean, which is just true or false statements. And I remember when I started learning programming, when I learned about Boolean, it was really just an eye opening. I feel like it made me see the world differently from there, because it made me so that when when you're at a stop sign and you see that the light is red, it's like, well, this is just a boolean. It's just saying, if the light is red here, then from there on the on the places that it should show green, it's green now, and on the places where the people should be able to walk, they walk now. And then from there, when it turns green, then from there it has a slight delay, and then from there, it turns off it lets the other sides know that they should be, red now. So it's just when you think about this concept of true or false, it's just the way that most things work. When you use a remote control, and then from there the TV is off, and you click on the on button, then now the system, the underneath, somewhere inside of this, it's recording that the TV is now set to on. And then from there, when you click it again, it's saying, well, now it's off. That's just true or false statements. So this concept is very powerful. It was a way that, even let's say when we are using any type of software that we like, let's say if you're logging into any social media platform and you're already logged in, well, it's going to check true or false. Is this person already logged in? If they are logged in, then from there, take them directly into their page. If false, then from there, take them to a sign up page. So this is pretty much the way that software was working dominantly. But artificial intelligence is a new mode of intelligence from a computational perspective that it's more based off of correlation. It's based off of like just algorithms of ideas pinned to accuracy. So,
and just one thing.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. My internet went out there for just a second, but it just reminded me to let you know if at any point you lose me, I'm going to come back.
Okay.
The internet in the Caribbean is just very spotty, so I might just randomly disconnect, and I'll try and reconnect.
All right, sure thing. Thank you for notifying me. So we're gonna just check out Booleans right here really quickly. Booleans are just so what I like to do at this point is just to we're gonna go through reading some code. So right here we are we're gonna read it in a specific way. As I said over here, when we have an equal sign on the left side, we are declaring, the keyword here is declaring a variable, and then on the right side we are assigning a value. So once again, we are declaring the variable on the left, and then we are assigning the value. And then from there we have our Booleans. So this is the Boolean, and we use the if statement. And here in this case is saying if B, but B is actually just a variable. What we're actually saying is if the value inside of B, is greater than A, then print out B is greater than A. Otherwise, and the way we say otherwise is else, then print B is not greater than A, right? Does that make sense? So what happens if I add another 3 over here? What's gonna happen?
B there, and what's gonna happen? It will print B is greater than A.
This right here? Well, it's saying if B is greater than A. So if we have B, and B is now 333. Is B greater than A?
Yeah, by 133.
Oh yeah, you're right. In this case, it is. So B is greater than A. Yes, correct. All right. So that is the way that the system works. So, but the keywords that I want you to remember is declaring a variable, because once again, if you read it in this specific way that I'm telling you, this will greatly make people that you are interacting with technically know that you're ahead of them. You use the keyword declaring, so you're declaring the variable of A, And then from there on the right side, when you see one equal sign, you are assigning the value. Okay.
Assigning value.
Yeah. One question might come around is you might see two equal signs. So when you see two equal signs, this is a comparison. So the reason in coding we use one equal sign means that you are assigning a value, but two equal signs means that you're comparing two values. Does that make sense?
I think so. Comparing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because otherwise, yeah, like, so comparing as in the same way that we're comparing here, which one is greater or less than, right? Like, let's say right here, we're comparing, is 10 greater than 9? And it goes true, right? But if we had 10 and then we just had equals 9, it would be it would be like trying to compare. It would be like trying to assign one number to another number. You understand? So instead, when we're comparing something, we put two equal signs.
Yeah, or else the code doesn't understand what's going on.
Exactly. So now with two equal signs, it's saying, is 10 equal to 9? And it's like, no. But let's say if 10 is equal to 10, then it's true, right?
Got it.
But in most cases, these are going to be variables. So let's say, for example, if you're trying to log in into your account, right? And then from there, there's going to be one variable is going to represent what your password already is, right? And then the other variable is going to be the value that you typed into the in your keyboard, right? So from there, it's going to compare. If the value of what the password is the same as the value of what you entered in, if it is, then it's going to equal true. And if it's true, then from there, it'll let you into your account. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, great. So yeah, we just wanted to take a pit stop into just understanding, how to read code a bit, just a little bit of the basics. And we're going to get here into using the OpenAI API, okay? So right now, what we're doing is we're just taking a look at some of the just naming conventions of variables. We use what we call snake case in Python. So in languages like JavaScript, we use camel case, but in Python we use snake case. So that means that every separate word, first of all, for variables and also for functions, they're always lowercase, always lowercase. And then you use underscores to separate the words. But if we're using a language like C# or even JavaScript, they're written in camel case, which means that the first word is lowercase, but then every other word afterwards is capitalized, and you don't use this underscore to separate them. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, it sounds like a pain in the butt having to do that.
Yeah, it is. It can be for people that use a lot of different languages. So like, let's say, for example, for the variables here, yeah, so like it's just like I was telling you about the difference in the different languages. They're all more or less the same. It's just that it's like the difference between, English and Spanish and, French and such like that. They just have their little different dialects. So that is...
Just need the knowledge to differentiate.
Yeah, exactly. That's correct. So, but yeah, well, once again, as I was saying, we have the variables use underscore to separate the separate words. Functions do the same thing. And then we have classes. So classes, because they're a template, they are always in capital. And that's the way that we notify the difference between the what is a template and what is a variable. And then we have modules, which we'll get here into shortly. Constants, these are all capitalized. and they they allow you to be able to store values long term in your project or application. We have packages, which we'll get into here shortly. Naming conventions, don't name variables, stuff that's very generic, like just list or str, because that just makes it very complicated. If you're creating a list and you have and you want it to be a variable, call it something like names list, or something like that if need be. So now we're going to dive into creating our first API call really quickly, now that we know how to read code. So the way that we do this is we're going to open up this page over here. Let's see here. Here it is. I'm going to log into it, and then from there I'm going to share it with you. So go ahead and open up this page here. And we have a couple of different ways to do this. One of the most fun or most valuable ways is to let the people that join our workshop be the driver, where I provide the information and I'll just guide you in doing it. How does that sound, Mehmet?
Well, I'll do my best.
Okay. Yeah, of course. That's all we require. So in order to do so, you can go ahead and just I'll let you share your screen and I'll provide you everything that you need. Okay.
Gotcha. Let's see. Make sure that I have the correct thing open.
Okay. All right, great. So next, do you have okay, so great. So you created your account already?
Yeah, I logged in through Google.
All right, sweet. So now what we're going to do here is we are going to download Cursor. So Cursor is an IDE. It's what the programming environment that we use for creating apps for a software engineer. So just open up in your browser and type in Cursor IDE in a new tab.
Cursor IDE.
Yeah, Cursor as in CUR, or you know what? I'll just post it, the link here.
I think I'm on it, cursor.com.
Yeah.
Download for Windows. Slowly downloading. It's getting there.
Sweet.
What's your cat's name?
Her name is Eos.
Eos. Oh, that's cute.
Yep. It's the Greek goddess of the dawn in Greek mythology.
Nice.
What about yourself?
Yeah, ours also have very meaningful names. The male is Bongo and the female is Bingo.
Bongo and Bingo. That's fun.
My fiance, we actually not going off topic too long, we adopted them during these storms in San Jose. We were going to foster them and we failed in like an hour, and those names were temporary and then became permanent.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
I
so
guess
funny.
you guys are Bingo Bongo now.
Are they like are they
They're siblings.
they're related?
Yeah, they're from the same litter.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
So
the
Cursor is downloaded. Okay, great. So when you get a chance, if you could open it and then from there kind of direct you on what to do next. Right now, I'm only still seeing your OpenAI platform. So
gotcha. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Took a long time to open. Let's see. Let me change it so I share
Mhm.
my entire screen.
Yeah, exactly. I'll make it easier.
All of these okay?
I'll register cursor as an editor for supporting. Yeah, that'll be fine. Yep. Just go ahead next. Next. Yep. Install. Perfect. All right. So once this is done, we're going to be able to, we'll be able to copy the code that OpenAI shares. And then from there, we'll be able to paste that inside of the environment. So to show, while it does that, we can go ahead and go back. Yeah, go over there. And then, yeah, go ahead where it says developer quick start.
Developer quick start.
Yep. Click on that. And then they keep on changing the website.
Oh,
But if we go over, scroll down now, just scroll down, and yeah, go ahead and where it says Python, install it. Yeah, go ahead and Python. Yep, scroll down. Yep, and all you got to do is just copy that code right there. That's above. Yeah,
this
click
one right
on.
here.
And that'll be what we copy into our project. So yep, go ahead and click finish. And let's just see if we can open up that, open up the project. Or sorry, open up the app. Yep, perfect.
Can't wait to have fiber internet again. It's an
Yeah.
absolute here.
But then
Sometimes I
again,
get like one upload speed.
then again, you said you're in the Bahamas right now?
Yeah, I'm in the Caribbean.
The
Grenada.
Caribbean. Yeah, so everything has its pros and its cons, right?
Yeah, the ocean's pretty, but the
Yeah.
food and the internet's just all right.
No,
There's no
just all right.
McDonald's here. Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and sign up, create an account here. They have paid ones, but they also have free ones. So you could just go with the free one for the time being. Continue to sign in, and you can use Google.
Ooh. Might take a second. I've got to activate my US cell line real quick.
Sure.
Oops. And then does the customization portion matter? Can I just skip that?
Yeah, just maybe later. Skip for now. Continue. Yeah, you could undo that if you like. But, all right.
That's
So
all right.
and maybe later. Log into Cursor desktop. Please only log in if, yeah, just say yes.
Mhm.
All right. So now just skip that. All right, sweet. So we're going to go ahead and create a new project. And you could just choose a directory. You could, yeah, it could be maybe in the desktop perhaps. Or,
Desktop. Okay.
yeah, and then just create a project here. Oh, actually it would be better to right click and then create the name of the folder. So let's just go back to the file, go file on the top left, and then open folder. And then we can go back over there, and then we could just right click or click on the new folder button. Yep. And then we can call this like ChatGPT project. Yep. And then select that folder. Yep. Perfect. And then from here, what we're going to do next is we're going to, it's on the left side where we see the, we are going to click on that button. So on the right of it, new file. Yep.
Mhm.
And then we're just going to call this one, let's just call this one main.py, lowercase m.
Gotcha.
All right, perfect. And then from there, you're going to go ahead and just paste the code that you added. Yep, perfect. All right, so next, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the iterative process of just getting it to work. Where the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to just run it, and pretty much every time it's going to run into different blocks. We're going to just install what's needed. Okay, so we're going to go up on where it says run. We're going to try to run it. Yep.
Mhm.
And then run without debugging. All right, so find the Python extension. And then we're going to go ahead and install it. So this is the extension for Cursor that allows for the IDE to compile and process everything that we do with Python.
Mhm.
From there, I believe that the next one will be with Windows. They actually have I know they have like a Windows marketplace where you actually install Python from as well. So that will likely be the next one, but we'll just wait for this to be done first.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So so now we can go back to the file. Yep, correct. So now, as we can see, you'll see that we got like yellow squiggly lines. You see that
Yeah,
when
right.
they're open. So that's just like letting us know, all right, we don't have this here yet. So next we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do the run. Let's run it again, and then we'll see what thing it highlights that we are missing now. So yeah, try to run it like the same way that you did before. Run without
Yes.
debugging. And let's say Python debugger. Click that. Okay, so that's because you don't have Python installed on your system yet. So when you know what the Python the Windows marketplace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna open that up.
Or are you
Yeah, the
referring to the
Microsoft
Microsoft
Store.
Store?
That's correct.
Oh,
And we're gonna type in Python. And just look for the latest one. And yep.
this segment really relies on my internet, which isn't good.
Yeah, that is correct. But it's going really smooth so far, honestly.
That's good. Okay. I got scared when I was stuck at one.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I've been doing like exams and stuff online. It's terrifying when you're in the middle of like a proctored exam and your internet just like stops for a second. You're like, is it gonna boot me? I gotta get a
Yeah,
get a knuckly.
almost done. All right, sweet. So now, what will be best is just go to file and save. Let's just save it, and then close cursor, and then we'll open it back up. That's because for a lot of Windows stuff, you have to like manually do stuff. It's not going to automatically pick up on everything.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's still open.
All right, great. And then so now let's go ahead and try to run it again. It's still loading everything up. But we'll probably get a different error. So now we have looks like we have a number of options here. Try the Python debugger again. Okay, good. So okay, so output the response.text. So now we're going to go into the agent on the right, and just say just type in just type in like the app is not running. Yep. So then we go ahead and click run. So this is when ChatGPT first came out, people were able to we would be able to and just keep on clicking run whenever it says something.
Mm-hmm. People were using this to troubleshoot.
Yeah. So now we have AI within that understands our project context and is able to help us troubleshoot and able to help us change the code. So it's part of what has greatly increased the ability for people to create products. Because now if you have the context, you understand what is going on, then you're able to just have the system be able to help you out like a lead engineer while you just follow along. So in this case, it's
abstracted even further.
That's exactly correct. It abstracts it even further. So I've been able to get projects where even for programming paradigms that I'm not 100%, that I haven't, used for a long amount of time, I've been able to, have contracts with that because I'm able to, because I understand the gist of what's going on. So it's able to abstract it even more to what people are capable of, so that even if somebody's kind of new, they are still able to, do a lot. So yeah, go ahead and I'm going to click run and actually go ahead and where it says on the code part where it says keep control and shift Y. Yep. And then click keep up there on the top.
Keep file.
Yeah. 2 issues, and so let's scroll down over there.
2 issues.
All right, and then open a new terminal and yeah. So ask it to read from a .env file. So it's going to change the code, and it's going to add a folder here. That'll clean up the way that it looks here. Mm-hmm. Yep. And also the performance of the agent also depends on what model of the AI you're using. This one is probably using like Cursor's base model, but if you're using like ones like the ones that are created by right now, Anthropic's Opus 4.6 is still my favorite, but they have different ones that perform differently and as well in their performance. But yeah, go ahead and let's go back into the code and yeah, go ahead and type in keep. Yeah, exactly. You could just keep the file. So now when you move the part where it shows you and I, when you like if you move the part on the left that shows us,
Oh, pardon.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
you'll see that it's added a couple more things. You see that env.example. Yep. Go ahead and press that there. So now we're just going to go into go back into that browser that had the OpenAI,
Got it.
and we're just going to get our API key. And so the way that we get our API key, click on that button on the right that says API dashboard on the top right. Yep, and just click create an API key on the on there. And you could just type in like new or something like that. Yep, and you'll just go ahead and copy that. And then you'll just go ahead and paste it back in that file on the env.example one. Yep, and then you'll just place it where it says your API key here. You'll delete that and then replace it there. Yep, perfect. And then save it. All right. And then let's go back into that main.py file, the main py file. And then let's go ahead and try to run it again. Yes.
Let's see if I can just minimize this completely.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be proper. You could just press X on that. I don't think it'll disconnect you. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
And then now I want to launch cursor from no, you don't need to do that. Just exit out on that. Yeah. All right. So can you copy so what we do now is we copy the code, we copy the error. So where it says from traceback.
Traceback.
Yeah, down there in the output. Yeah, over there. Just copy some of that, and then from there, just feed it into the agent.
Oh, it's the agent.
Yep. So yeah, just go ahead and copy that. And you see when you hover over it, it says add to chat.
Oh, let's see. Okay.
Yeah, and it already does that. So you could just press enter. So as we could see, this is like pretty much it's a whole different paradigm of like, it's AI assisted, programming, right? So just type in, can you check my solution and see why the app is not working? Is configuration not correctly calls does not load the create, put this exact. Yeah, so scroll down. So just type in like set it up for me, please. So what it's supposed to do is just create the env file for you. In this case, the AI just went the tougher route as opposed to the easier route, which was just creating the file that we wanted for us. So just go ahead and click run.
Yeah. OpenAI likes to do that.
Yeah, that's correct.
I've had trouble with it a lot with schoolwork.
Yeah.
Like one instance. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Let's see first what it's doing. So created the .env file with your API. So boom, reran the app, and now it's getting past the current failures from the API account. All right, perfect. So all right, excellent. All right, so essentially, what we'll do next is you see how it has that red button that says just go ahead and click stop. Yep, and then we're gonna rerun it. And the only error that we're gonna get is just saying that we haven't added any payment method to our account. So, pretty much the only thing that you'll need to do is just, you could fund it with it doesn't need to, it could be $1, $2, or $5 or whatever. And then from there, you'll be able to actually make your first API call. So you go ahead and click run without debugging. And so can you see how it has two on the panel right to the right of it? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, can you click on one of those? So scroll down to the bottom of that. Okay, so let's kill both of those by clicking the trash button next to those. Yep, next to that. Yep. And then from there, go ahead. Let's try to run it again. And we'll also see that we have a another run button there. All right. For licenses. Yep. All right. So ask it why the code is only outputting the verification that Python exists and not the full error method, the full error message.
Oh, I lost you.
Yeah, and not the full error messages. Hello?
There we go. I lost you at the exists part.
All right. Yeah, exactly. So pretty much yeah, so pretty much you just yeah, and Python exists, and why is the code only outputting the verification of Python exists, and why is the so why is the code only outputting the verification of Python exists? Oh yeah, so just go ahead and end it with that Python exists part. From your terminal, so because your debugger is launching Python with an empty target file from your terminal, this is the key part. How to fix, run with the file directly python.main.py, or in cursor use run Python file while main.py is focused. If you have a launch.json, check that the program is set. Also once from your terminal, this is a key part.
Sorry. Trying to see if I can zoom in on it.
So all we're going to pretty much need to do is we're just go ahead and one more time, just we're going to just ask it to set it up to where we are getting the response from OpenAI in the terminal, or in the terminal. Set up so that the response from OpenAI appears in the terminal.
Accept.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. So print open added runs. All right. Perfect. Added. Perfect. All right. Cool. Okay. Cool. So go ahead and click the you see how it says like keep. Yep. And keep, and then go to keep file. Yeah, but at the top, just keep file just keeps everything. Yep. So go back to main.py. All right, scroll up. All right, sweet. So let's go ahead and run it again. So you could yep. Now there we go. So all it's saying now is just that we haven't funded the account. So if you want, I can give you just a time you could stop sharing, and if you like, you can go ahead and just go back to the OpenAI, and you're able to add $1 or $2 or whatever. And then once you do that, you're going to be able to successfully make your first API call.
Sure. Just give me 1 sec.
Sure.
Back to OpenAI. Almost there.
Nice.
Okay.
All right, great. So pretty much when we try to, we can press play again. Boom, you just made your first API call.
Cool.
So the way that we update this is if you scroll up, you see where it says the input, how it says write a note down there where it says write a 1-sentence bedtime story.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and change that to whatever you like. Make it something cool, like maybe like write a step by step to creating a monastery for dogs or so, whatever you were talking about, right? Pet sanctuary, yeah. Yep. And then all you got to do is just Just rerun it. Now it's thinking.
That little box is a little loading screen.
Yeah, it's just that's just this loading screen. And then you could, if you want to, you can press on the top right. You can close that agent, the part where it shows the agent on the yeah, if you want to, you can go with that. There we go. That way, when it outputs it, you'll be able to have more real estate. If you want to, you could also move the window for that up a little bit, so you'll be able to read it when it's done. Yeah. Let's see.
It's thinking hard.
Yeah. It looks like it. Let's see. But yeah, this is like, just it's a really cool process, because otherwise, a lot of this stuff would take, super a lot more time to debug and to be able to get straightened up. But now with the power of AI, we're able to, just ask it and be able to get it to assist us with what we're doing. So it's a really powerful process. Let's see.
So would this be good for like creating, I don't know, like charts and stuff too?
Yeah, there's a lot of different strategies. So pretty much, like, let's say for the same way that we were interacting with the agent, and we were getting it to say, and also like the API calls are really cheap, by the way. So when we were, the way that we were getting the agent to, set it up for us, you'd be able to say, create a graph of the response for this or that. Sometimes when we have enough time, we will, because there's different processes that I like to show for this thing. Right now, everything that we're doing is happening inside of the terminal, but we would easily be able to create an interface for this, where it's like, where just like with a website or with an app, where it's able to be interactive. You're able to use it just like with ChatGPT, right? Where because essentially, like, ChatGPT is just a visual interface for this, right? And then from there, it shows a response. All right, so let's just press, let's scroll down. Let me get an error. Self-post. Why don't we copy that and then share it with the agent? So just scroll down and then just click add to chat. There you go. And just type in, we got this error. Why? Oh, it's in ask mode. So instead of being in ask mode, click on that agent.
Agent, oh. Let's ask it the same thing again.
Yes. So I think honestly, sometimes like it has to do with just, I think Windows like caches a lot. So let's try to close cursor and then reopen it. because I've had it where that was an error that happened before, and then from there we just reopened it, and then from there it was like, oh, here you go.
Mhm. Should I do this?
Yeah, sure. Let's try that.
So do you do these like every month or every week?
Every week, and we do different concepts. So the next one I do is actually, and you might like this one a lot as well. We used AI to create a business plan for like any type of venture that we have. I created a custom it's kind of like what we call a custom GPT, but it's pretty much like an employee that helps people out with any business venture that they have, and just kind of clarifies that for them. And then I also have like a community where I teach people twice a week, on Wednesdays and Saturday afternoon. So pretty much after this, here in about 45 minutes, the people that are part of my community, I teach them for another, hour and a half.
You're busy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something that this is like what I'm created for, is I love to teach people how to use it to make money, how to use it to create an income and livelihood. And it's because the world is changing super fast. It's changing faster than any institution can help us with, can catch up with. And look, we were correct. There it is.
Just unplug and plug back in.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh wow, yeah, I gave a very detailed response.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Jeez. So if you want, you can copy and paste that into like notes or whatever. Yeah, it went quite
much. Oh, sorry.
It went quite detailed, huh?
Oh yeah, it did. I should probably put this in a Google Doc.
Yeah, exactly. You should, man. So with that being said, man, congratulations. I'll just go ahead and flip through the last few slides of this show.
Yeah.
And let's see here. All right, so we just did that, man. Congratulations to you. That's the goal of all of these workshops, is for people to make just meaningful progress. Part of the reason why we do this is because 3 years ago when we started this, we knew that what is happening right now, where there is a large issue, it's becoming more and more apparent with the economic infrastructure for jobs, that is becoming more and more competitive than ever before. So that's what led to us starting to host these free workshops. Some of them all of these are free, but we also have a paid community for people that are wanting to learn faster, and also want to learn how they can build these real valuable technical skills quicker. The reason why a lot of people that are trying to get into technology stuff, they don't succeed, is because of one of these three things. Either they run into information overload, which happens because people on social media might hear, get into cryptocurrency, get into cybersecurity, get into data science, get into this or get into that. So there's information overload. But what people really need is just like a clear step-by-step sequence of what they need to learn in order for them to be able to get where they want to get to. And then there's also a system. Like, people need to have the same way that the education system was created to systematically do something for you. But nowadays, the education system is not really what it's supposed to be. It's really watered down. So, but people need a system of, show up, at these specific times, and then from there learn what you need to learn, and then from there you'll be getting to where you want to get at a certain point. And then accountability. So accountability is the missing leg of everybody that's trying to achieve something. If they're not able to achieve it, in most cases it's because they don't have accountability to somebody else. So those are the things that are missing for most people. In the program that I created and that I run, it goes for 16 weeks. And during the 16 weeks of focused mentoring, we build 4 websites and 3 apps. So you'll learn how to master AI tools, how to create your own app, how to build your own business idea. We've had people that get full-time jobs in fields like robotics and software engineering and AI really fast. And you'll learn how to implement different revenue streams. So we have a number of different offers. We used to do it at $4,000 or $5,000 at one time, but now we have a special offer for people to make it accessible and available for everybody, where it's $144 a month. So if joining in our program was something that you wanted to consider, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you for joining the workshop. Thank you for spending your time, and I hope it was of value to you.
Yeah, I had a great time. I appreciate it, Nova. Thank you.
Sure thing. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, and also, what was that?
Hey, I was just about to ask about that, where I could reach out to you again.
Yeah, sure thing. I'll go ahead and post the link for my LinkedIn here.
Thank you.
And we really value people that take out the time for giving us reviews, and also any shout outs or reviews or anything like that. Feel free to tag us on LinkedIn if you want, but also for meetups, if you just leave us a review, then that's valuable for us as well.
Sounds good. I'll definitely leave a review, a good one.
All right, cheers, mate. Have a good one.
You too. Nice meeting EOS as well. Bye-bye.
Cheers.